One of the major breakthroughs in medicine in the last 10 years is to understand the stress wiring in our brain. That we have these wires that we keep replaying and replaying. You know how same thing, you say you're not going to overeat, and then all of a sudden you find yourself overeating. That's a wire. And we didn't know until 10 years ago that we could change these wires. And right now, wiring is really the rage in medicine because these circuits control up to 90% of our health problems. And if we can get a handle on our circuits and begin to change them, we could potentially change the rates of such conditions as cancer, diabetes, heart disease, addiction, obesity, and about 90% of the aches and pains we get come from these stress circuits because they get stuck on and they repeat themselves over and over again. So I want to show you these circuits. So here's the brain, and the whole brain. The most important part here is your thinking brain. It's called the prefrontal cortex. That's your conscious mind, what you know you know. The brain down here, the emotional brain, is the unconscious mind, and that's where the circuits are stored. So once we experience something, it gets stored there and then easily reactivated and replayed. It's kind of like a habit. Just that circuit gets activated, and before we know it, we are back to doing what we did before. In particular, when the circuits have a lot of stress in them, we call them stress circuits, they get so strong with the stress, like a fight or flight stress response, that the thinking brain goes offline. And that's why when you tell yourself you're not going to overeat, and then you find yourself doing it, you say, why did I do that? I did it because a wire told me to do it, and that wire was full of so much stress that my thinking brain went offline, and I just had to follow whatever my emotional brain told me to do. So that's why there's no judgments. Let's move on and look now at what happened when that circuit formed in my brain, that crossed wire.